Everyone, thank you so much for your time today. My name is Adi Kozgi, and today what we'll do is we'll focus a little bit on understanding Microsoft's approach to sales success. But I want to contextualize that first and foremost here. So let's start this conversation by reviewing the One Microsoft platform. I know that we went into this talking about sales business needs, but I want you to know that sales business needs are a small part of Microsoft's enterprise business solutions. Not only are we solving kind of business application needs, we also have the infrastructure needed to keep an enterprise running smoothly. Now, if we zoom in on the customer experience application suite here, you can see that it is a small part of that overall capability of Microsoft. Several products. And what we'll do is instead of talking about this from a product perspective, let's talk about it in the flow of a customer experience. As we know, there's a lot of pieces to successful customer experience orchestration. You've got data management, you've got marketing, sales, and of course, ongoing service. Sales is a small part of that. As you know, Microsoft can solve for all of it, but we'll focus on one bit of that today. Now, let's talk a little bit about where we sit in the market. Gartner's 2023 Salesforce Automation Magic Quadrant placed us as a leader in this particular quadrant analysis. So our completeness of vision and our ability to execute has been increasing very aggressively over the course of the last few years. It's funny that we have had competitors comment on our Copilot capabilities as not being very useful because we have been able to point to the success that businesses have seen with those Copilot capabilities and how it is starting to put us a cut above a lot of the competitors in the space. So just keep that in mind as we kind of move forward here, because you'll see the Copilot capabilities as a big part of our value as the Microsoft solution. All right, so let's recognize revenue a little bit faster with Dynamics 365 sales. We've got a bunch of functionality that we'll be talking about here, but we're going to start by describing a day in the life of Sam, the sales guy. Sam is a good seller, but given some of the IT infrastructure that has existed in the past at his company, he has struggled to really hit target every single year. And this is just because there's been disparate data, there's been no coaching, no guidance. So Sam is now utilizing the Dynamics 365 sales solution to kind of knock all that out of the park. We'll start by seeing how he's getting focused optimal selling, following his own path to sales success, how he's getting a comprehensive view of businesses and customers, the fact that he's able to hunt for new business utilizing the tool, and also get actionable insights, AI-supported outreach, and an overview of the business with Dynamics 365 sales. Any questions about our guy Sam before we get into his day in the life? No? Okay. So Sam's going to wake up, grab his morning coffee, and take a look at a screen like this when he enters Dynamics 365 sales. There's a lot going on, so we'll talk to each portion bit by bit. Over on the left, we have a navigation pane. For anybody that's used a Dynamics tool, you'll see that this is set up in a somewhat similar format. Then we have the piece de resistance of Sales Accelerator. This is Sam's work list. So what is happening here is a lot of different parts of the tool are working together to give Sam a prioritized list of items to get work done on. And as he clicks on these items, he's going to continue to get guidance on how to best sell as he goes through the day. Now, over on the right, you'll see that he gets some contextual info about each one of those work items that he's clicked on. We'll double click into this a little bit, but before we do that, I do want to call out our Copilot. Again, this uses that generative AI capability that Microsoft owns in order to give Sam contextual guidance on what he's looking at. So for this particular opportunity, he can use some natural language Q&A to get some information about this particular account. Okay, so now let's hone in a little bit on this particular pane, the detail pane of his work list. Across the top, first and foremost, you can see that most of the work that he does follows a business process flow. Now, this is paramount to Sam getting his work done effectively. For a lot of organizations that haven't defined their business process flow already, work is kind of all over the place. And one of the key issues that sellers have is they don't know where to spend their time and how to do things in the right process. Right out of the gate, each one of these work items gives you a workflow to follow. So this business process flow has a series of stages, and also within those stages, a set of steps to guide Sam to do the right work. Now, that guidance is going to be a theme as we continue here, but also insights will be a part of this as well. So we'll talk through each of that. And on the note of insights, this is the opportunity score. So instead of having Sam go to a bunch of different places and talk to a bunch of different people to try to get an idea of how this particular deal is going, the opportunity score is going to use an AI model to condense all of those different factors that are important to the business that he works for and create a single score for him to quickly look at and say, hey, this deal is going well, this deal is not going well. Looks like this one in particular is going well, so he's going to spend a little bit more time on this deal. And in order to spend time on this deal, he's going to get guided through the steps that he needs to get done with in relation to a lead or an opportunity, utilizing something called sequences. Sequences are just a set of actions that a seller can perform in order to complete best practices tied to each one of the deals that he works on. And then finally, Sam gets a little bit more insight into his particular customer utilizing these navigation tabs across the top. What we'll do is we'll double click on connection insights so we can get a little bit more detail about the tool. This is always one of the key value drivers that is marketed as part of a CRM tool is the insights that you get on your customer. So you get things like how the relationship is going, who is interacting with the contact at your company. Sam also gets to see who else is part of that company. He can also see how he spent hours on it and how those hours compare to best practices. So not only is he getting insights, he's also getting actionability to see what is the best way to interact with these customers. And then, of course, if we click on the LinkedIn Sales Navigator tab, Sam can start hunting for new business. So not only is he seeing the contact that he's been interacting with in the context of LinkedIn, he can also find related leads and get introduced to people within his contacts network. So he doesn't need to sit there and reach out and try to ask a bunch of questions around hunting for new business. He can do that utilizing the tool itself. All right. Any questions on that overview of the Dynamics 365 sales platform before we go further? Okay. If there's nothing else, then what I want to talk a little bit more about is that actionability that Sam needs to do. Ultimately, for anybody who has sold CRM in the past, you understand that CRM can kind of be a bad word at sales organizations. One of the main reasons for this is because traditional CRMs tend to be systems of records that are disconnected from where sellers actually do their work, which are the systems of productivity. Things like Microsoft Teams, things like phone calls, and things like emails are where sellers do a lot of work, whereas they need to administer in their systems of records. Due to the fact that these are disconnected, sellers will only spend 32% of their time selling. And this is where we enter Microsoft 365 Copilot for Sales. I believe that's the right way to say it now. 50 lashes with the wet noodle if I said the wrong thing. But what Microsoft 365 Copilot for Sales does is it connects those systems of productivity and systems of records and allows for someone like Sam to get all the information necessary to do his duties in the flow of work. So first thing we'll do is take a look at how it's helping in the context of a phone call. A phone call is a very, very prominent part of the selling need. So here's an example of how we do that. So again, you can see here that he's following the sequence, following those best practices to interact with a customer, and he's in a call with a customer. So over on the right, you can see that a transcript is quickly being created along with details and notes that are a part of that. And then once he completes this call and hangs up, he's going to get a full summary of what happened with that call thanks to the Copilot capabilities. So not only is he getting visibility onto the attendees, he's also getting that transcript that we talked about, a sentiment analysis, and of course, a full recording of what's been talked about. And with further detail, he's actually able to see all of the things that were mentioned, such as key products that a customer would be interested in, or key competitors that they might be working with. And this provides the ability to start actioning, creating action items out of each one of these calls. Now, that's just in the context of Teams phone calls and Teams interactions. If we go a step further to emails, Copilot for Sales is able to do things here as well. So here you can see that he's in his Outlook inbox. He starts off by taking a look at the email that came in. But again, utilizing Copilot, he's quickly getting a summary of this email. All of us know what it's like to go through a massive email thread where we just got added maybe 10 or 11 emails out. The Copilot capability is going to quickly summarize those emails and give Sam a soundbite to say, hey, this is what's most important about this email thread. And then, of course, utilizing Copilot for Sales can start doing CRM work right within the context of Outlook. So not only can he save this email to Dynamics, he can, of course, add a contact to Dynamics as well. So here you can see that he's able to quickly get that information pre-populated from the email that has come in. And then he can go ahead and click Save. And then that becomes a part of the Dynamics environment. So all that information is there within Dynamics. The email is tracked to Dynamics, and now he can focus on responding to the person that reached out to him. So this is where some of those generative AI capabilities become important. So he was asked to provide product details. So he's going to go ahead and click on that button and quickly get a product detail summary from the Copilot capabilities. Again, this is all generative AI, and this is really where it shines. It uses all that information that exists within the CRM tool, all that information that exists within his Outlook, and is able to create an email that he can just send off. So it's really reducing the amount of admin work that Sam has to do by a massive amount. And then finally, when it's time for him to start talking to his managers about how his business is going, thanks to the fact that he has all these tools to help him get to a point of sales success, he has easy conversations about the state of his business. So utilizing Copilot within the context of Dynamics again, he's able to ask a question like, how are my deals going, and get a view of his deals. Now, there is a separate section called the Deal Manager that allows us to take a look at all of the deals in deep granular detail. We, of course, have a visual representation across the top of how these deals are going across a timeline. We also have a list view if we want to look at it based on various bits of information that are important. And then, of course, context over on the right as well. So Sam's getting all of that level of insight. And not only does he get that, it also goes up the chain to the manager level and to the executive level as well, really bringing all of that information together and easing Sam's life in a bunch of different ways. So with that, Sam's whole world has been changed. He's able to see sales success now. He's able to do focused and optimal selling. He's able to follow a path to sales success. He's also able to get a comprehensive view of his business and customers. He's able to hunt for new business right within context of where he is. And then, of course, get those actionable insights, AI-supported outreach, and overview of business utilizing the Copilot features. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your time. Hopefully, we've been able to showcase how your world gets changed as a seller when you use Dynamics 365 for sales.